Alright, this one is going to be a bit different than what I said. I'm going to talk about Linkin Park and, in particular, Chester Bennington. And um, it's. I'm going to talk about my personal experiences. This one's going to be probably a bit emotional and things like that. So what I'm going to do is just get into it straight away. If you watch, please subscribe to the channel and like it. It will get everything out there that I want to be out there. Like I say, I'm not getting paid for any of this, so um, yeah. So we'll dive into it straight away. Um, the reason I want to talk about Chester Bennington is we just seem to have had a lot in common over years. And uh, when I was a kid at school, I was bullied all the way through school, and my school life was very horrible. It was horrible, but not here to talk about that. I'm talking about Linkin Park's music and what it meant to me. I've seen videos explaining the behind the music, if you know what I mean. So, but to me, it was something different. No one never really talked about this. When I was 19, I was sexually assaulted, and it was horrible, as you can imagine. And when I first heard crawling, um, the lyrics crawling in my skin, these wounds that will not heal, um, kind of triggered something in the way I thought about it. I was, that anger in me was there, and that's what that song personally meant to me. It was crawling in my skin. Obviously I have PTSD, so, and that's where the PTSD came from. I was already suffering with major depression, so it's that's to me that's what crawling meant. Um, so it 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 meant, those lyrics meant that to me. At the time, I didn't tell anyone about it. I was uh, ashamed. Um, I was very ill at the time, and I I didn't go to the police. I should have, of course, I should have, but I didn't. I was too ashamed, embarrassed, maybe. and still get to this day get flashbacks. Um, Even the feeling I get them. Still, it's it was a hard time, and crawling was the song that I put on the playlist every time, and just meant that I got the anger, if you will, the anger out there. I was more angry with myself because I let it happen. Um, it's not like I let it happen, but I was in a club in Birmingham. I had the offer from a friend of mine for a lift home in his taxi. I didn't take the offer. I tried to walk to the train station, and that's where it happened. So I've, I've beaten myself up over the years about it. Like I say, it was 19, I'm 43 now. But I beat myself up over the years about it. What if I'd taken that taxi with my friend? Uh, Everything might have been different, but I think after the school bullying, I was already in a depressive state anyway. Um, it's I don't I don't think it would have got rid of the depression because I was already in that cycle of emotional unstable personality disorder, and it was the depression was already there. I knew that I was kind of depressed from 14, and well, yeah, it'd been there all my life anyway. So um, that's a difficult one. But obviously, a year after I was sexually assaulted, hybrid theory came out, um, and that's what crawling meant to me. It was the assault on me. Um, I was already self-harming at the time, so when they say these wounds will not heal, um, that's that's kind of where I was in that moment. But there's another one um, they released in the end, and I suppose every person, every bloke anywhere or woman, been in this situation in the past when you're with mates and you like someone. Um, Obviously, I like females. Um, Obviously, if you're a woman, maybe you got a friend, you like a male. Um, I was in the pub, and that's where, in the end, came from. For me, it was I like someone, and my so-called best friend at the time ended up getting with this girl. And yeah, the betrayal I still feel to this day. Um, I'm not going to mention names because it's unfair. And he to this day, last time that I said, oh, I didn't know it was that woman. Well, she was the only one in the pub with that name. So, here's what it is. Don't really speak to him at the moment because he can't be bothered. And we're going back 20 odd years. Um, I know that he did it. He's kind of one of these meant to be best mates kind of thing, but he can't be bothered with me. I've tried. Um, I think I've done absolutely everything that I can do to try and keep in contact. And yeah, he doesn't seem to be bothered. And I think it's about a year ago. Well, it's over a year ago now. That I said to myself, I'm not even gonna try and have that friendship relationship going on because it's me that's trying, and a friend is someone that gives something back. Um, um, yeah, so that kind of relationship to me is kind of dead. But I've I've seen a different thing in life. My, after one of my suicide attempts, I've had an entire rugby club saying, "Oh, we'll pay for your treatment to get yourself therapy to get better." And that was offered to me, and I was just like, really appreciate it, but I can't because it's coming anyway, and I don't want to take the money out the Spartans Rugby Club. And that that showed me what friendship actually means. Uh, People will give me the shirt off their back if it would help, if you know what I mean. So in that respect, it's just like I'm uh, trying to have a friendship with someone that can't even be bothered with me, and that's it's it's more than it's worth, if you kind of know what I mean. So that's yeah, it's hard, but am I missing out on anything? Probably not. Well, no, I know that I'm not missing out on anything because I don't get anything out of the friendship. So I don't think at the start it really did annoy me, but now you find out who your real friends are, kind of thing. And I know who my real friends are. So, as I've been the one that's tried all the time, would I even pick up the phone? If you phone right now, um, don't think I would. I would just do what he does and just leave the phone ringing. Um, I might do because I can be silly like that. Pick up the phone and say, "You're right," and have that conversation. But I don't think he's the kind of person that's gonna phone out of friendship. He's gonna phone when something is going wrong in his life, and he wants my help with it. That's what I think anyway. That's the way I feel. So sorry, I just went completely up my nose. But so in the end, is that song that's what it meant to me. That relationship is in the end, it doesn't even matter because he's not actually really a friend. Um, been in hospital several times, never visited, and give a shout out to a lot of Spartans bloke when I was in hospital. I've come back and they've visited me. Are you okay? Are you doing better? And to this day, it's a real friendship that if I drink too much, they'll call me on it. And because that is kind of my voice, if I'm not in a brilliant place, I will drink too much. And that's just my coping mechanism. Um, Paul Glover, bar chairman of the club, called me out on it last year. Said that you're right, and I'm just like, no. And he's checked in with me so many times. Lee Westwood checks in with me all the time. Stano, uh, Gooders, they all check in with me all the time to make sure that I'm okay. So that's friendship. So I said, yeah, it's going a bit off kind of what I'm trying to talk about, but Linkin Park, Chester Bennington, um, I didn't know what their songs meant until like last year, but I just know what they meant to me. And I I've heard one song of One More Light, and that is the title track. And I don't think I could listen to it personally because It is that one just brings me to tears all the time, and it's not like I wouldn't like the album. It would be like that is kind of his Chester's goodbye, and I wouldn't want to hear that because I have kind of survivor's guilt, if that doesn't sound weird, because it's it's so hard when you survived and you're wondering why did I survive, and I can be in that. I can be in that circle a lot of the time. I am, yeah, in that circle a lot of the time because I can wake up wishing that I was dead and be absolutely heartbroken that I've woken up. And then I have the other side where I'm just like, oh, today's a good day. And, but why did other people die? Because of an illness. And that's when you get the kind of survivor's guilt that I get. It's it's wrong, but I also listen to the songs. I listen to Numb a lot, and to me, that song is reminding me of my parents. So I'm numb to what they're saying because it's they annoy me so much, and I love them, but they're so annoying, and to the point of they count how many drinking, um, always criticise me. Um, yeah, never. I'm not exactly the blue-eyed boy, so numb is kind of what I think about them. They make me feel numb. I've I will go into other in other videos. I will go into more on these life experiences, shall we say, or nasty, uh, more in depth. Good word. Um, as you can still tell, my last video I mashed two ons together. That's just because I was able to use the editor better than what I've done because I really don't know what I'm doing. But um, I I don't cut any of the videos. I don't have any cuts. It might seem seamless, and that's because I don't cut it. I just want it to be authentic. Um, if if I'm struggling with a voice and or there's I'm I'm in tears, it's real. Uh, it shouldn't be sugar coated. Men do cry. I I've cried a lot, and yeah, that's it. It's hard talking about people that aren't here. But I said I was going to talk about Linkin Park and Chester Bennington and just some of the experiences. That's why I can relate to him. So, what I'm going to talk about next is Linkin Park now. Emily Armstrong's come along. Mike Shinoda is still doing it. But I've seen a lot of online stuff, and the thing is with Chester, he is one of a kind. He was in agony emotionally. He was in absolute agony, and if you can't relate to that, then that's fine. But the songs were painful because he was in pain. If that doesn't sound weird. So Emily Armstrong's come in and people are saying, oh, I don't like it, it's not Chester there. Should have changed the name. Why? Chester was the lead singer. He was a very good singer. He was a beautiful person. Linkin Park originally were called, I think it was Hybrid Theory, but there was someone else called that. So they changed the name to Linkin Park. Changed the lead singer because the other one had passed away. Everyone's saying it was because of what happened with One More Light that Chester committed suicide. I don't believe that. It's not just one thing that causes you to take that action. It's a build-up, in my belief. So it's hard to kind of express. I've tried to commit suicide several times. It's an absolute build-up of what you feel is going wrong. It's difficult for me to say because all the emotions kind of hit into one, if you know what I mean. And when you're in that kind of moment, it's just pure pain, and everything gets on top of everything. And to me, that's what happened. So I don't think it was just because of One More Light. It was a build-up of things. That eventually he decided to take his own life, and it was tragic. People can say what they will about suicide, but at least they're no longer suffering. We have conversations on euthanasia, if I said that right, but assisted dying. We've had conversations about that and put them out of the suffering. And To me, that is exactly the same. They don't suffer once they're gone. Now, I'm not religious or anything, so I don't know where you go, but I know that the personal pain, the demons, will go. That's what I think anyway. Uh, Not encouraging anyone to say stop my suffering, because don't. There's so much to live for. It's There's a lot of Linkin Park fans now that say they shouldn't have kept the name, shouldn't have gone on. Mike Shinoda's got to make a living. Well, he's probably very rich, but you know, it's his band at the end of the day. So why should he not continue to make music in the same name? Emily Armstrong, terrific singer by the way. Just because I don't relate to their new music, would I really want to relate? All that tells me is someone's not suffering. So that's that's how you got to look at it. If there's no suffering in there, then that's got to be a good thing. Um, yeah. It should they have carried on? Yeah, 100%. Um, I remember like way before Linkin Park, Richie Edwards went missing from the Manic Street Preachers. He was the lyricist. Um, Very depressed, a bit like Chester Bennington himself. And the band ended up carrying on, had great success. The Manic Street Preachers, Welsh band, very good. Yeah, I'll use to listen to them in the past as well. Um, so yeah, should the band carry on after? Yeah, exactly. Uh, don't know about the script, but I still think they do things after one of their band members died. Stereophonics, they still do tours. One of their drummer passed away. Um, so with the you shouldn't carry on, it's just not not for me. It's of course if you're making music, you're making someone's going to sing along to it and someone's going to be happy. So that's what you, in my opinion, that's what you make music for. Um, I didn't expect this video to be this long, but um, just talking about experiences, Chester Bennington, because I did love his music and could relate to it, but I don't think people should say, "Oh, just because of the criticism of One More Light, whatever happened happened." No, it was, in my opinion, and honest, a builder of things that were not going very well. So that's what I think. I will ask you, as viewers, can you please like the video because it will help get this content out there, and subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. And my goal is just to help people in a remote way. Um, Hopefully, one person will just look at it and say, "Oh yeah, I can relate to that." Oh, here's it's just someone to maybe talk to. If you drop a comment, I'll try and get back to it. Don't have many comments. Well, don't have any. But if I can help one person, then this fast on his channel is worth it to me. Anyway, um, don't know what anyone else thinks about it, but yeah, if you drop one in the comments, what you think about the channel, where I can kind of improve, but I don't know how to improve because this this is just real. This is absolute real stuff. So I'm never gonna change that approach. Anyway, I've gone for like over 35 minutes, and you're probably gonna get bored of me. I haven't thought on the theme for the next one. I think I'm probably going to tell you about my early life. Maybe. Um, it's not a promise. Um, but subscribe to Fast on his channel. Enjoy this video. Like this video. And if you have any comments, I am not a professional, but I will honestly answer any comments that you put. So this this is the end. Fast Johnny out. Take care of yourselves and love life.